Hello everyone, I'm Runismism, and welcome to Let's Play Touhou 11 Subterranean Animism. Touhou is one of my favourite game series of all time, as I believe I've said a couple of times now, and I could just gush all day about the characters and the music and whatnot, but that's not really what I'm here for today. What I'm here for is to play the games and show off why they're so great, just from a gameplay perspective. So let's just quickly start up a practice run, where I'll just do a couple of stages while explaining the basic gameplay mechanics, and then we can do a real run later. So, Touhou, it's a bullet hell series. You dodge bullets, you shoot at things, it's pretty simple, honestly. But there's a whole bunch of little things that all make the game a little bit more complicated than just running around dodging stuff. And I'll try to explain as many of them as I can now, so I don't have to explain them while I'm dodging a whole bunch of stuff later. So, a couple of important things to understand. See how I can kind of bring this purple orb that's orbiting around me a little closer in like this? That's me swapping between focused mode and unfocused mode. When I'm unfocused, my aim is a little bit wider, my movement is a little bit faster. It's hard to do things precisely while unfocused. But just being fast is kind of a benefit in its own, like if I really need to pull off a quick dodge or something. When I'm focused, I can move a lot more precisely and my aim is a lot tighter. And I can also see that little circle on top of Reimu. That's Reimu's hitbox. If a bullet touches her head or her legs or her arms, it's all fine. That doesn't matter. What matters is if the bullet touches her hitbox or not. So when this next big fairy shoots at me, let's see how close I can get. Nope, not that close. Playing dangerously on purpose is a bit of a dumb idea, but there we go. You can get about that close. The bullets themselves also have smaller hitboxes than they appear, but it's not quite as dramatic as how small the player hitbox is compared to how large the sprite is. So, unfocusing to go around quickly and focusing to make these tiny, precise dodges, it's very important to be good at both. Another thing I can explain is, bosses go between a lot of different attack patterns as you fight them. Even this first one has about 5 or 6 of them. Some attack patterns are designated as spell cards, and you can tell which ones from the fancy background and the little box in the top right that gives you the spell card's name, how many points it's worth, how many seconds you have left to destroy it, as well as my history with it. So I've managed to perfectly do this spell card 25 out of 26 times, and now that I've shot her down once more, that makes it an even 26. Because that spell card's quite easy, it's literally the first one in the entire game. Okay, so let's see, I've explained spell cards, I've explained focusing, what else is there? Quite a lot actually. That power up there, that pink star that I just collected, that's basically a piece of heart from Zelda games. If I collect enough pink stars, I think it's 5 of them, then I get an extra life. You can see how close I am to earning my next extra life on the right there, where I have 2, and then I have 2/5 of an extra. You can also see my power just under that. Power is important for 2 things. When I collect enough power-ups, my power increases, and it makes my shot, bigger. You can see that I now have 4 orbs circling me instead of just 1, because my power has increased that much. But the other thing I can spend power on if I think I'm in really deep trouble, let's see, these bullets are going to fan out, and oh no, how am I supposed to dodge this? Bam! I can press the bomb button. Bombing reduces your power by 1, but it makes you invincible for a few seconds, and then removes all the bullets from the screen, so it's an extremely cool thing to do, as long as you're willing to pay the pretty hefty cost. So now I have to collect these red power-ups again to increase my power back to what it used to be. The blue and green power-ups are just for points. Those ones aren't as important as the stars and the red power-ups. Let's see. So I've explained bombs, I've explained extra lives, I've explained just about everything, I think. Is there anything else that I need to explain? I think... Oh wait, no, there's a couple of things. Okay, so... Oh goodness, that was close. So, the basic idea behind most attack patterns that enemies will use is, are they directly aimed at the player or are they not? These ones are, so I just need to move a little bit to the side and they'll just avoid me. But a lot of patterns do not base themselves on your movement at all. And some tricky patterns, in fact quite a lot of them, will have components of both, where it's okay, here's a big fan of bullets that you just need to dodge, but then also here's a line of bullets aimed directly at you that forces you to not pick the same spot every time. That's the most basic attack pattern that basically any enemy in this game will have. So when you're looking at enemies, you have to try and figure out, like, see if you can work it out yourself on, like, which bullets are aimed at me and which ones aren't. Here, the big green bullets are aimed at me, but then the slightly less big green bullets are just, like, a circular pattern that happens regardless of where I am. Okay, 2 more things left to explain. You can see my cell phone reception in the bottom left there. I don't know what it actually is, but it sure does look like a cell phone reception bar, doesn't it? Whenever I get dangerously close to bullets, my reception increases, or I can increase it all the way to maximum if I get really high up on the screen like this, although this is a bad time to do it, obviously. Like, you can see it maxes out whenever I'm up there, and then it gradually ticks down to the bottom if I'm not doing anything dangerous. I have to, like, get close to bullets or get close to the top of the screen to increase it. What that does is it increases the amount of points I get every time I pick up a power-up, but it also, if I get it to full, then the power-ups just fly towards me automatically. So even if I'm only playing for survival rather than points, it's still important to try and keep it full, just so I don't have to, like, fly around the screen manually picking up power-ups. I want them to fly towards me if possible. Oops. And then the very, very last thing. Because this is the character that I'm going to be playing as for the actual run, I might as well explain their special gimmick. If I'm not shooting and then I double tap a direction on the side of the screen like that, I can teleport from one side of the screen to the other. It's a little slow, so if there's bullets on both sides of the screen, then it's tricky to find a safe time to use it, but it does really help against some attack patterns. Okay, and finally, that is it. It's time to put this run in the toilet where it belongs and start a real one. So for the real run, I'm going to be playing on hard difficulty, as Reimu, with Yukari as my partner. I'm playing on hard because I'm pretty good at Touhou, but not super good, not good enough for Lunatic. I'm playing as Reimu and Yukari because they're basically the most powerful pair by a decent margin. I want a nice, easy recording and not have to, like, redo the video 50 times. I have managed to beat hard mode on a couple of pairs of characters, but Reimu and Yukari are definitely the smoothest. As for why Reimu is down here, I'll give a basic plot synopsis. There's geysers appearing all over Gensokyo's surface. Like, just cracking open the earth and having all of, like, the hot water and vengeful spirits gush out. And Reimu says, that's weird, I'm gonna go fly down a geyser and... A geyser and figure out what the heck's going on down there. Figure out who's behind this and beat him up. And that's just what she does. God, even Kasume gets a spell card on hard difficulty, huh? Good for her. And then for the gameplay reason, or not reason, but like, for how the game, like, displays this story, portrays, that's a good word for it. As for how this story will be portrayed in the game, we're going to go through 6 stages of bullet hell, and if we can beat them all without losing all of our lives, oh goodness. Embarrassing. If we can beat all 6 stages without losing all of our lives, then that's great, we get the good ending. Or if we have to, restock our lives halfway through, then we get the bad ending. I'm just going to say it up front, I'm probably not going to get the good ending. Well, maybe I will. Reimu and Yukari are quite powerful, maybe the end game will be a little bit easier than usual because of that. But if I have to get the bad ending today, then so be it. Normally I would restart every time I run out of lives instead of just getting the restock and keep going. But today I'm more interested in showing off the game than keeping my pride. I'm 1 power down because of that frankly embarrassing bomb that I had to do halfway through the stage. But it should be fine, it's not like the start of the game is that hard. I'll just get full power a little bit later than usual. I didn't fully explain... Actually, no, I did explain a little bit of what the history in the top right means. But I didn't explain what it means to fail a spell card. Basically... Oh, it lasted a little bit longer because I had less power. I'm not used to dodging the second wave of that. Anyway, if you take a hit, or if you use a bomb halfway through the spell card, those are the 2 things that count as a failure. So if you see a spell card where I have a very low history for it, like, you know, it'll say something like 20 attempts, 3 successes, or something like that. That doesn't necessarily mean that I get hit by it all the time, it just means that I usually have to go invincible to dodge it. Or I do get hit by it. But sometimes it's just a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? Like, if I look up at the history and I see that I've only succeeded a spell card like 3 out of 20 times, then that'll put in my head like, okay, this one's a hard one, I should probably just use a bomb. And then using a bomb counts as a failure, so it becomes 3 out of 21, and the cycle continues. With this attack, the bullets kind of keep stopping and re-aiming themselves at you, so you need to juke them around a fair bit, but it's not too hard. And then this one's like playing Snake. Although, geez, Snake is like a 40-year-old video game at this point, so who knows if you even know what that means or not. You have to lure it around in a spiral pattern to make as much use out of the space you've got as possible. If you just keep going back and forth, you'll run out of room. Oh goodness, not again. Ah well. Bombs are cheap, it's lives that we don't want to lose. If you have very good hearing, you would have actually heard the fact that I made the death noise while I used that bomb. That's because I got hit by the bullet about 1/10 of a second before I died. Or sorry, got hit by the bullet 1/10 of a second before I used the bomb. You have a little bit of a grace window to use bombs even after you die, but it's very short, so it's basically only good for if you really see your death coming ahead of time. I don't think you could possibly react that quickly. Bye. When you actually need to do the full circle every time, this spell card's a little tricky, but luckily I have a teleport. In most of my runs, I would prefer to try and beat stages 1 through 3 completely perfectly, without needing to use a bomb, and without really even needing to rely on the teleport that much. But today I'm just kind of cheating a little, it's fine. Bombs are there to be spent, the teleport's there to be used. I don't need to be a purist about it. With this one, the real Parsi shoots out the little bullets, and the fake Parsi shoots out the big bullets. If you shoot the fake Parsi too much, then she reacts by really amping up the bullet count. But luckily I didn't shoot her once, so it was fine. Do you hear that snap sound? Listen for it again. There it goes. Ah. Maybe you'll have to go back to hear it a few more times. But that snap sound means that the pattern is re-aiming itself. So every time you hear it, you need to move a little bit to the side because the bullets are about to come straight for you. It isn't too difficult to dodge that pattern just based on visuals. Well, not too difficult for someone who plays bullet hell games anyway. But the the audio cues make it a little bit easier. You can just base it on the timing of the sound instead. I have to leave a lot of enemies alive because of my narrow attack pattern here. It means I'm dodging more bullets than I would be with a wide attack pattern. It's like the one downside of playing as Reimu and Yukari. Ah, here as well, this boss uses a lot of summons, so I have to dodge more lasers than I normally would. Although I say that, but I'm going through each attack phase so quickly because of my massive damage output. I probably ended up dodging less lasers anyway. This attack pattern's nice because if the spirals get too close to you, then they just don't spawn the bullets in that area. So Yugi here sticks around. Oh goodness. She fires the static pattern while the little guys fire the directly aimed at you pattern. So you have to pay attention to the bullets Yugi's shooting, but if you stay in the same place for too long, then all of a sudden you're going to get pinned down. You have to try and go from one side to the other, and then find a moment to double back, which can be a little bit tricky, but I managed to do a good job of it there. For the last two bosses, Parsi and Yugi, they also basically just live here. Yugi does have a little bit of an inkling as to what's going on though, so we're almost about to get the plot back on track. With these ones, if you shoot the electric shackles too much, then they'll explode into bullets. It's not too much of a problem to deal with, but if you can avoid destroying them, then you should. Okay, this one's the hard one. Yeah, forget it. Bombs are there to be used. An important thing for getting good at Touhou is to know when to save your bombs and know when to use them. Because like I said, if you use them too much, you can go into a death spiral. But if you don't use them enough, then you're just going to keep dying. This spell card looks really intimidating, but the hitboxes on the bullets are actually like half the size of the sprite. And of course my hitbox is pretty small as well. So as long as you've got Nerves of Steel, this isn't too difficult to find spots where you can avoid the invisible parts of the bullets, which are the only parts that deal damage. I didn't quite collect as many of those red power-ups as I would have liked. Oh goodness. Alright, we're down to 2 power. We should stop doing that as much as we can now. This spell card is slightly tricky, and it's going to take a lot longer because I'm only on half power. When you're standing almost exactly where I am, you get the maximum amount of bullets that don't spawn. Like, you can see they're not allowed to spawn on top of me, so I'm trying to stay in like a spot where the top half of that part doesn't spawn in. It's like, stay here, the top half of the big bubble bullets don't spawn, and I've got a nice little pocket to stay in to dodge the other 2 waves. Okay, that is a perfect first 3... Well, not perfect, I used plenty of bombs, but I haven't died yet. No deaths going into stage 4 is exactly what we want, because stages 4 through 6 are very difficult. Anyway, we're in the Palace of the Earth Spirits now, a place you might remember from Touhou Doom if you watched that before this, funnily enough. The Palace of the Earth Spirits is built on top of where Hell used to be, before it had to move for budgetary and logistical reasons. I believe Yugi has told us that this place is kind of suspicious because it's got a bunch of ne'er-do-wells in it. And also, when we said, like, hey, vengeful spirits are coming out of the ground, what's the deal with that? She probably said, like, oh, well, there's former hell. Like, that place probably still has a few vengeful spirits. And now we're here. God, I probably got as close to that laser as you're allowed to get. 1 pixel further left and I would have been in real trouble. Again, my small attack pattern here means I have to dodge a lot more of those explosion bullets than someone who could... Whoa, that was close. If I had an attack pattern that could clear out the summons a little bit more effectively, there would be fewer explosion bullets to dodge. Just one of the tiny downsides to playing this extremely powerful character. Oh good, okay. Those blue bullets are aimed directly at me, and they kept pinning me into that corner, but I just barely managed to find a moment to start streaming them the other way. I need to be more proactive about that. If you keep streaming in... Ooh, another death bomb, good reactions. If you keep streaming too much in one direction without ever thinking about how you're going to turn around, then you'll get into situations like that. I'm getting dangerously close to so many bullets that my reception is now maxed, and I don't have to bother collecting power-ups, they're just coming to me. I'll probably have to bomb against this pattern here, unless I can find the gap. Oh wow, I did. Nice. Okay, max lives, full power. Well, not max, but like, as many as I could possibly have. I've been doing a good job of collecting lives and not dying. And I have max power going into the 4th boss, so things are looking pretty good. These warning lasers will stop on top of you and then turn into real lasers after a little while. You actually want to go in towards where the lasers are coming from instead of trying to wrap around with them. Because you can see if I was wrapping around with them, I would be hit by that giant wave of bubble bullets with no gaps. So you need to fight against your instincts and like, okay, the lasers are going that way, but I still need to like go against them, otherwise I'll get trapped. Anyway, Satori here can read our mind. So that means that she's going to use attack patterns that our partner Yukari would normally use. Oh goodness. Yeah, this one's so... Oh yeah, history 0 out of 14. I've literally never managed to do this one perfectly. Okay, she's almost dead. Let's see if I can like dodge it a little bit. Yeah, sort of. But I would need to keep that up for quite a while to get a perfect run of it. Unlike in Touhou Doom, where I feel fairly comfortable slow-rolling most of the bosses because I have a... Ah, damn it, first death. Because I have a giant health bar. In this game, one hit and you're done. So slow-rolling the bosses is going to be a rare treat for you, viewer. Oh no! That one butterfly bullet, I thought it wouldn't be a problem because there was only one of them, but it was right where I wanted to be. That's such a huge shame. Oh my goodness, that's so tight. I can't believe that my history does not say 0 for this. How did I ever dodge this? Ugh, it would look something like that, I guess. Ah! Not bad. Oh, my power is so low. Whew. Okay, I said not bad because I assumed that the spell card was over. I still had to do a little bit more work. Okay, I'm down to 2 power. I gotta stop using bombs for a little while. I think if you die with literally 0, then it gives you like 1 back as pity. So going down to 0 isn't quite as catastrophic as I've maybe been implying, but I would still like to avoid it. Because trying to fight my way through this stage with only 1 power or even less would be quite difficult. Stage 5 of Subterranean Animism is extremely, extremely hard. The red bullets are aimed directly at me, and the blue bullets are a little bit more... I'll let myself get penned in. I should have made a big juke to the right to give myself a gap on the left. Like, okay, we're just going to start going to the right, and then we'll think about how we're going to travel back to the left with a big juke, and then go left. Yeah. Okay, so make through that gap, then start going right. Yep, and then through this gap. Okay, fantastic. I managed to do the juke even though there were bullets in the way. I didn't need to use a bomb there, so I get to keep my 2 power. Very nice. With only 2 power, and the fact that I have to keep moving away from the boss because of this attack pattern, this is going to take a while. It might actually time out. Okay, it didn't. Timing out isn't a huge issue. It just means that the boss goes to the next attack pattern, and you lose your chance to earn points. Oh, good. Oh. Alright, we're down to 1. Ooh, that was close. Ah, darn. That was closer than close. Oh, it gives you 2 power back. Okay, so the minimum you can go down to is 2. The game isn't quite that brutal. Forget it. We've already failed the spell card. Might as well fail it harder. This is a tricky one. Oh, I should have bombed there. With this set of enemies here... Oh, it's already over. I was going to say, you can actually juke them around if you're very good at the game, but if you're playing as this pair of characters, just teleport. It's way easier. I didn't see the gap in the bullets on my left, so I bombed instead. Luckily, I bombed while there were a whole bunch of power-ups on the screen. The red ones, I mean. So I managed to get most of my power back anyway. Oh, darn. Well, let's kill as many of these guys as we can for the power-ups. There we go. Back up to 3, not too bad. Anyway, so Satori has led us down into former hell. Like, oh, you guys are here about vengeful spirits? That sounds like the kind of thing that would probably be happening in my backyard, which is literally where hell used to be. And now we've got this necromancer cat person. Despite the fact that she's a necromancer, it still isn't her doing, but she does know the person who's behind all this directly, so we're almost there. This one's annoying. She doesn't fire that many bullets, but I should have bombed. Like, see how my history on this is 0 out of 8? I should have bombed. I knew I wasn't good at this one. I was trying to wrap all the way around to avoid the zombie fairies. If I could have just gotten all the way around the boss, I would have had a big chance to deal damage without having to worry about the zombie fairies. But wrapping all the way around poses its own challenges. So it's kind of a stupid strategy. I should have just bombed. Okay, I was practicing this one off camera because I wanted to make sure that my stage 5 and stage 6 were still pretty good. I don't know why I've never managed to do this one properly. It's not actually that hard as long as you're just following the spiral. Mind you, when I was practicing stage 5, I still couldn't do this correctly. I kept taking stupid hits, and I was like, is this why? Is this why my history for this is 0? Just because I'm dumb? Let's see if today I can finally do it properly, or if I'm still too dumb. Nope, I'm not too dumb. See, that one's easy. I don't know why I've never managed to do that one before today. Literally the first time I've done that spell card perfectly, and it's on camera. Oh, that was close. Just have to cross my eyes and try to figure out where the gaps are gonna cross over here. Needles of Yore and Torch. Ah, this one's annoying. So the spinning piles of souls are aimed directly at you. So you constantly have to move like 4 character widths over to find the new gap in the soul wheels. But the red bullets are also jammed in pretty tight. And you have to stay directly underneath her or you're not dealing damage. It's a pretty tricky one, but I think I might just barely be able to get her. Yes! That was the second time I've ever done that. I've improved a little bit since the last time I played as this easy set of characters. No, because that's the other thing. The history is on a per character basis, as well as per spell card and per difficulty. So who knows my actual history with these spell cards when I play as like any other character. Even though Reimu and Yukari are way easier to beat the game with, my history with them isn't great because they're the first set of characters I beat on hard difficulty. So you have a lot of like practice attempts of me only barely being good enough to play this difficulty included in my history. Oh goodness, that was close. I saw the zombie fairy dying next to me and I knew those revenge bullets would get me, so I bombed a little bit before I died. Alright, 4.5 lives going into the final stage. That's a decent amount. Hopefully it's enough. So, we head further underground with Orin's advice. Like, hey, the vengeful spirits are totally not my doing, even though I'm kind of a necromancer. Ugh, I couldn't find the gap there. That was embarrassing. But, do you want to know what's been messed up lately? There is like a second sun underneath the earth. And I know who's doing it as well. It's Utsuo. It's my buddy. She's gone like mad with power or something and made a second sun underground. It's crazy. Anyway, so it's probably just like super hot down there and the vengeful spirits hate it and that's why they're like gushing out. Like the heat is causing these cracks in the earth and the vengeful spirits are like, hey, we're free. Also, it's way too hot down here. Let's go. Oh yeah, also I forgot something. If you die down here, it's so hot that you'll burn and there won't even be ashes left. So if I want a corpse for my necromancy, I better kill you here. This spellcard's pretty simple, but it's kinda tricky anyway. The gaps are nice and small. You have to keep swapping between focus mode and unfocus mode to get both precise movements but also quick movements. Ah, not quite. I was so close. I thought I had it, so I didn't bomb. So what's the deal with Utsuo? Well, we haven't even met her yet, but I know she's coming up. Why has she done this? How has she done this? Well, it turns out that the final boss from the previous game, someone you don't know but I do, has decided that they want to bring nuclear energy to Gensokyo because they miss electricity and stuff and they figure that, you know, we might as well use clean power here. There's no reason to bring coal or whatever. So, this person goes and finds the dumbest Hell Raven who's still here after Hell moved and said, hey Utsuo, you wanna know what would be cool? If I gave you the power to control nuclear fusion. She's already obtained the ultimate power, so she can't stop it. Anyway, she ate the sun god, Yadagarasu. And she's planning to revive Hell with it. And now she's going to burn away the entire world or something. Man, she has gone crazy ever since she ate that god. Anyway, so we're going to have a stern talking to regarding the final boss of the last game and who they are allowed to give ultimate nuclear power to. But for now, we have to deal with this problem. So the giant sun bullets are aimed directly at you, so you need to move about a quarter of the screen over every time they get fired to find the gap in them. The blue bullets are pretty tight as well, though. Oh goodness, I moved too erratically while she was spawning the suns. You have to stand still for a little bit to make sure that the suns are both aimed in the same direction, and then move to dodge them. I do like the fact that you can't even see yourself when you're in the middle of a sun like that. You have to go by the hitbox alone. Oh goodness. That was close. With this one, she's trying to trap you between these lines of bullets, and then she aims these bubbles directly at you. So you have to keep finding gaps between the lines. You're not allowed to just get stuck or you'll be, like, executed by those big purple? Those big bubble bullets. Oh goodness. I should have just moved a little bit to the left. There was a big gap there. With Giga Flare, I mean, it's fairly obvious just from looking at it, right? You want to stay pretty low down the screen because that's where the suns are smallest. It's difficult to judge your eyes when you're playing against this spell card, though. Or, did I say judge my eyes? It's difficult to judge the gaps with your eyes, because the gaps get bigger as they get closer to you, so you need to, like, just guess where they're going to... Oh, no! Oh, please don't tell me I'm going to mess up after doing so much of the early game so well. I might just barely be able to earn one more extra life. Okay, right, the gap's about there. Now I remember. The gap... like, here-ish. Ooh, that was almost too low. I might be able to earn one more extra life if I play very well. But aside from that, I only get one more death, and then the second death is the big one that gives me the game over. With this one, you want to move in kind of a clockwise, circular pattern. Oh no, not again! This is an easy one. This is like her easiest spell card. But yeah, you can see, like, I'm trying to move with the suns, and the clockwise pattern is what does that. There we go. She slays like 3 or 4 more attack patterns. With this one, she goes by faster, which actually makes it a little bit easier, honestly. The bullets come out a little bit faster, so you have to... Damn it. Alright. Once more with feeling. Oops. I'll just throw away these 2 lives as well, then. There's no way I'll be able to beat the boss with just 2 lives. I just failed it with 4. Alright, once more with feeling. What a shame. We almost had her. So when you continue, you're sent back to the start of the stage with full power and 3 lives. The kind of tragic part is that it's actually not too difficult to get into like stage 5 or 6 with way more than 3 lives remaining if you're good at the first 4. So this still isn't a guarantee. I'm actually used to trying to beat stage 6 with like 4 lives, not just 3. But if I use my bombs a little bit more effectively than I did last time, I'll probably just barely be able to win. Because last time I was taking all sorts of hits without bombing first. No, sorry, excuse me. You can't actually skip this text, which is why I bothered to read it out last time. Also just because this part of the game is actually cool. I really do like the idea behind the bosses of this stage. of like a Hell Raven who ate the power, or sorry, who ate Yadagarasu, the raven that lives inside the sun. I believe they are a sun god, maybe not the sun god. But anyway, so you've got a Hell Raven who ate a sun god and now controls the power of nuclear fusion and attacks you with giant nuclear sun bullets. And like the klaxons blaring every time she declares a spell card as well. It's quite different from normal final bosses in Touhou games. Okay, no embarrassing deaths or bomb usage up to the boss. I guess this time I don't have to explain every attack as I do them, so I can just pay a little bit more attention on like really focusing in on my hitbox and not running into bullets like a dummy. I think my history for this spell card might actually be higher than my history for like stage 5 spell cards. Like see how I've done 18 attempts on this instead of like 12 or so? I think that might be, actually, if that is true, I can't remember so well. It's because I've played this stage in practice mode a few times. It's important to get the final boss practiced a lot so you don't mess it up when you get there in a real run. And then I guess practice mode counts against you as well. Like if you mess it up in practice mode, that still counts for the history. Whoa, that was close. Every time I do a really, really close dodge like that, well, for starters, I'm impressed with myself, but then secondly, I'm like, I should have bombed. Like what? Did you think that one was a guarantee, you cocky idiot? It's situations like that. That one wasn't that tight. I actually did think that one was a guarantee. It's situations like that where it's like, you need to do those sometimes if you want to save your bombs, but try not to do them too much. Alright, didn't I die on this one like twice or 3 times last time? Let's not do that this time. Oop, yeah, see, that blue bullet was going to get me, so I bombed. Now we're down to 0 bombs. This is when you feel the most relaxed, because whatever happens from here, it's not my fault. If I die, there's nothing I could have done about it. There's only so good that my eyes and my fingers can get. If I hit a bullet, it's fine. That just means I'm not good enough at dodging. What could I have possibly done? I couldn't have bombed because I didn't have any. Relaxing. But now I have a bomb again, so now it's less relaxing. I have to have my bomb finger on a hair trigger. Oh, that was way too early. I really wanted to maximize my damage, so I got underneath her earlier, but that was so early. I almost got hit. Even with only... I missed the star piece. That's fine. 4 lives should be enough. Even with 1 power, I should be able to do this spell card perfectly. I don't care what the history says, this is an easy spell card. The only reason I've lost to it that many times is probably because, again, this is the first character I ever played on hard difficulty, so I was probably just like getting used to it. See, look how easy this is. The yellow bullets never touch you. I don't know how I got hit that first time. Oh goodness, that was way further right than I thought it would be. My eyes didn't judge the line very well. I said that this spell card, or not spell card, sorry, this non-spell card attack was actually easier than the previous one. Oh my goodness. And as I was saying that last time, I died. But actually, the fact that it's faster does mean that it's more likely to just catch you off guard like that. It means your reflexes need to be better, even though the gaps are bigger. Alright, here we go. Hell's Tokamak. The spell card's so nice, I showed it off in 2 different videos. I pointed out in Touhou Doom how I really like the name of this spell card. Unfortunately, because I'm being attacked from 2 directions at once, it's hard for me to think about anything aside from dodging 2 directions at once. God, and focusing on where the boss is as well. I can't speak. I can't look at my history. I wonder what my history for this is, because I can't see it right now. Nope, I guess I'll never know. That's just a secret treat for you, viewer. I wonder if that was like the 10th time I've managed to do that one perfectly, or merely the first. I'll never know. Anyway, as you can tell pretty obviously from here, she's turning herself into a sun and sucking me in. So I have to dodge the bullets that are being sucked in with me, while also dodging the bullets that she's now emitting. And the more damage I deal to her, the larger her gravity gets and the more bullets she starts emitting. This is her final spell card though, so if I can just do this one, we're good. Oh, there we go, perfect. Man, if only I had that kind of run the first time through the stage, huh? So we get the bad ending instead of the good ending. Now, there is a bit of a rule that we all like to follow in the Touhou community, where the guy who makes the games very kindly asks us not to show off the endings in our videos. So, one moment. Well, it was the bad ending anyway, so there wasn't much to see. We didn't really get a lot of plot. But you got absolutely none. You're not allowed to see the ending. Also, that's my real name there. Yeah, get off the screen. Anyway. So, what I'm going to do now is... Let's see, how long has this video been going? Pretty long. So let's save the rest of it for tomorrow. Not tomorrow. Well, my tomorrow, but your later in the week. Because next time I'm going to do the extra stage, and that'll take probably about half the time this video took in total. But yeah, that's Touhou. I'm pretty good at it. It's pretty fun. It's got good music. This is the demo play that's on Lunatic difficulty, so we can see a little bit of... Even this very first part of level 1 is pretty hard on Lunatic. But yeah, that's it. But it's not quite it for Touhou. Well, there'll be more on Sunday when I play through the extra stage and we can see what that's all about. See you all next time.